Hello guys, NautoAce here, and this will be a special video. Basically, if you saw my Epilogue 2021 showcase pickup, cross thoughts, cross impression, of course the latter part, I kind of gave my thoughts on the return of G4, aka G4 2021. However, you probably noticed that, wait a minute, you didn't address the controversy on XPlay by a particular host. And you're right. Actually, here's the deal on that video. There are actually some part I did mention it, but I decided at a time for that particular segment to cut it off. So, because I really want to focus on just the return of G4, the basic, how they're doing, what's different from the older version. So now I think it's a good time to do it. Is that once again I'm gonna be showing you my thoughts and impression of G4 2021, the reboot through its entirety. So what does that mean? Yes, the part that I cut is going to be there, so it's going to be like a director's cut, actually addressing the situation of one of the hosts of XPlay. And yes, if you notice, I'm not mentioning this person's name for my own safety, and I don't want to create more controversy. But if you know what I'm talking about, then you know who this person is. And it is unfortunate that it happened. Whatever the behind the reason is, it's not really my business. So with that, here it is. Once again, I'm uploading my thoughts of G4 2021 director's cut to its entirely, including the controversy. So now I'm gonna give my thoughts on something that was interesting to me in 2021. So of course, the return of G4. So the little bit of backstory, I kind of give my thoughts about this in 2020. That on Comic Con 2020, they actually announced that G4 is coming back. First of all, me personally, I'm like, well, who asked for this? Why? Are they gonna do something different? What kind of question is what makes sure that for them to go back and a new like generation for the G4 community or whatever. So they actually came back in November of 2021, but before that they actually did some what they call it a before G4, which just some short clip, some reviews, whatever, kind of like to give a taste of what G4 is. And then, of course, finally, the return of the new G4 at November of 2021. So, on my previous thoughts about it, I did say that one, don't expect to be like, oh, G4 is back. Oh, it's going to be the same as the old one. Oh, nostalgic. No. I even said it myself, my prediction was that don't expect that. They're going to do some different layout. And I had a feeling that especially XPlay, is that some of the formats going to be sort of they're going to integrate what they did with Rev TV, Sessler Soapbox, some of those segments there. The reviews are going to be their own separate video because again, this is not a TV syndicate; it's a YouTube network. So thoughts about it? Well, you know what? It is what it is. In the beginning, they're learning. There are a lot of like hiccups, but again, that's anything. And the new format, it's not bad. Again, professional to some extent. Yes, I will be addressing a bit about what happened, but that'll be different story. That'll be later on. And the people they chose, whatever they do, good for whatever to some extent. And the format, like I said, was different. XPlay, they have their own segment, their own stream. They talk about games. They do reviews of news. Like I said, the reviews of games, all they may be because I have no idea. From what I understand, because of the fans. So again, there's a different story there. But again, it kind of felt like a bit of Adam's X-Play, his version, and a bit of Rev 3 games there. So Attack of the Show, kind of smart what they did once a week because it's not something you want to do every day. So once a week they have three different segments. There's like the Vibe, which is apparently they just talk about stuff. There's the Loop, which is if you remember that one, it's basically now Kevin Pereira's podcast. So if you remember in the past, I did a video about that. He does have a podcast, so that's what the Loop is. Again, in my personal opinion, again, good move. And of course, Attack of the Show itself, Around the Net, interesting video. Again, people like funny, and then just some pop culture. And of course, they added two new shows that sort of kind of tribute to certain group. There's a show called Boosted, which is an esports, and then there's Dungeon and Dragon. Bottom line, when I saw the show, are people having fun there? Are they enjoying themselves? Are they being restricted? And overall, are they able to do their vision? Because believe it or not, the old G4, even XPlay Attack of the Show, there were some challenges. And of course, if you know what happened in the past in 2011, Adam Sessler was fired on the set because of someone who took over doesn't like Adam and he was terminated. And then after that, XPlay itself just went down the drain. Attack of the Show itself, it was still okay, even without Kevin Pereira. But after a while, people just, they got bored. So it is what it is. Some people might say, yeah, it's not the same. Again, it's not supposed to. It's called a reboot. They're going to do their own way. If you don't like that, then you can just watch the old G4 shows. It's like, whoa, Street Fighter 5 doesn't play like Street Fighter 4. Yeah, that's kind of point. So, thoughts about that? Right now, they are doing good for what it is. I'm just being nice. Yes, there is a controversy what happened in X-Play. One of the hosts basically made a rant and addressed not only to the bad apples, but unfortunately the way the rant was set up, this host was blaming every gamer. So again, right now they're in a tight spot. Why did they allow her to do that? Maybe something to get off her chest and whatever. But again, whatever. But we'll just have to wait and see that one. So that part, yeah, that was a little bad. It was bad form, but again, eh, I mean, I had a feeling. So why is that? Because when I first saw the crew for X-Play, I'm like, oh, I of course Adam. I mean, did he really wanted to go back there or not? Again, I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he has his vision to just exploit whatever. And then, of course, they introduced the Black Okage. I don't know who that person is. Gerald, the completionist. I have heard of that person. So, again, pretty good job what they're doing. And then Frost. So, yeah, this is the lady that kind of did some controversy. So, she's an expert on esport commentary. Apparently, she's also political, but again, there's nothing wrong with that as long as it doesn't get in the way of business. But for the particular incident, it probably kind of did. But when I first said, who's this lady? And I even showed to some of my friends, and this is the sad part here, and this is probably what happened, is some of my friends said, wow, lack of female diversity here. I'm like, and then later on, like, oh, shoot. Well, we made a you know, dumb moment there. Frost, yes, she's one of those. Well, she's an advocate to the LGBTQ community. Trying to be nice here, but anyway, so like, oh, Frost, I see her. So she's like very esports, and in my back of my head, that I hope I'm crossing my finger that people commenting stupidity because again you got those nostalgia people that they want the old X play. They're gonna say something stupid about her, and I hope that it's not gonna interfere. That it's not gonna impact the show. But of course, everybody knew what happened, and it did not. But X play overall, I don't think it's that bad. Mine is that saying it is sort of a combination of Adam's G4 in the old days and Revster game. Attack of the Show, it's sort of still the same, but it was a good move what they did. 3 segments to 3 different days per week. So awesome there, because you don't want to do this every day. Don't care about boost that much because I'm not into esports. The D&D play segment, I'm not into that one also. I know there's a Power Ranger in the past, but yeah, I'm not really into that one. So overall, I don't think it's that bad. They do need a lot of improvement. But remember, they only started in November. Yeah, they had the B4 G4, but that's like a soft opening. So they haven't even doing any stream. So doing stream, there's some clunkiness, but again, as time goes on, 2022 and so on, they'll improve hopefully. And of course, hopefully the controversy wouldn't really affect it, but we'll just have to wait and see that one. Overall, I think they're doing what their best. There's like passion there. They'll learn. They're happy. So I mean, like I said, what people don't know in the past, the old G for the network with NBC and stuff, they were problems like behind the scene that fans viewers don't know. I mean, you can read it on Google about it, but again, overall, not bad as of right now. We'll see what happens in the long run. Is it like the old G4? Definitely not. And I said that before. Like any reboot, any return, chances are the percentage is that it's not going to be the same. And yes, because when I was watching them on stream and I'm looking in the chat, some of them are just stupid. Oh, Morgan Webb is hot. Oh, Olivia Mann's hot. I mean, you know the story about that one. And there are some dumb comments like, "Oh, she's not as pretty as Morgan Webb," or the. It could be a troll if people are serious about that. I mean, you might want to reevaluate your situation. But most of the time, people are like, "Yeah, I enjoyed it. Informative, whatever." So there you go. So now, for the first time for this segment, is my early impression of G4. I might go back here in the long run. And also, disclaimer is that I'm not going to be addressing the situation, what Frost did, and I knew, I had a feeling that there was going to be a problem there. I was hoping they'll be professional enough to ignore it, or when push comes to shove, hire some social media manager. Just saying there, like, you know, it is unfortunate. I had a feeling that this might end up when their female representative, to some extent, I mean, you know what I'm trying to say here, is not Morgan Webb, because you have people that basically said, "Oh, Morgan Webb, I miss her. She should come back." Again, I did say this on Twitter, and a lot of people already said this. Morgan Webb is working in a game development company. She's happy working there. She's doing good. She's probably getting a lot of money. G4 to some extent. I don't know how much they get paid. It's in a full time, part time, whatever. Remember, a lot of these hosts they have their own thing too, to some extent. So again, Morgan Webb going to G4. Well, I would say before the controversy, it would be nice as a guest star. Same goes with Olivia Munn. But after what Frost did, in my personal opinion, probably not a good idea to bring both Olivia Munn and Morgan Webb because political issue there. But it is what it is. It is unfortunate. So I'm not going to be addressing that. I might address it in the long run if new development happens because a lot of people already talked about it, and it is an unfortunate. And before I give my early impression, it's about Adam says. So a lot of people did ask, has Adam been like this, like very political? Believe it or not, I want to give my thoughts about this. Even the Tech TV days, Adam Seltzer was very, very political. He was a nice person, but he was very, very political. I think probably social media, Facebook and Twitter, kind of. I guess he felt he had more power because of that. But again, whatever. Yeah, of course, the post he did about Republican. Not gonna touch that. Whatever his reason is, it's none of my business. But yeah, he's always been political because, again, people who complain, "Oh, Morgan Webb is not on XPlay." Did you know in the beginning? Not a lot of people actually like XPlay from extended play. They think it sucked because when you force comedy, what it is, and a lot of people, beside the quote, "Oh, Morgan Webb's hot." Yeah, I mean, she's pretty, she's nice, she's also an intelligent person. She knows her stuff to some extent. She learned, she adapts, and she doesn't really get offended that much. And of course, smart for her for not basically being active on forums or on social media from what I understand. So kudos to Morgan Webb. Yeah, in the past, in the early days of X Play, There were even someone on the forum that was an idiot that basically kind of said, "Oh, you know why Morgan Webb is there? For sex appeal, so more viewers will watch them because Morgan Webb is not really gaming. She doesn't know squat, whatever." And of course, if you don't know about Morgan Webb, she started as a screensaver, kind of like giving the viewers tips on Minesweeper, but that's in the past. And then suddenly with XPlay, it kind of built her notoriety. Same goes with Olivia Munn, and the story there. But yeah, I mean, believe it or not, in the beginning, not everyone were a fan of Morgan Webb. But as time goes on, she learned, she adapted, she got better. Again, just saying there, like kind of like food for thought there. So yeah, Adam was very political, even from what I found out about him on the old XPlay, on the Tech TV days. Just saying that. So now, impression. I did expect, like I said, it's not going to be the same as the network version. It's going to be their own version, their own style. That's what the reboot is. That's why most people probably advise it, call it G4 2021. Not G4 TV, not G4 2014, G4 2021, a YouTube network, not a television syndicate. So, XPlay, they showed, talk about games, they showed products, they have discussion. Again, normal. It's okay there. Minus again, that's what Frost did. Different story there. So for me personally, it kind of felt like, wow, this is what the Adam exploit, which I like personally. I know I'm the minority of that one. I like that one, and part of it also was Rev 3 games. So he's also integrating that stuff from Rev 3 games. And a lot of people also complain, how come something's only in the monitor? Again, G4 probably not full time for Adam. He has an actual job in San Francisco as a gaming consultant. So once in a while, if he needs to go to Los Angeles, if you have a chance, he will be there. But most of the time, don't expect. And for a lot of people said, "Oh, it sucks that Adam's not there live. He's on the television, whatever." Again, you gotta keep in mind this is G4, not Adam Play or X Play, but it is true. Adam made X Play with Morgan Webb, so you can't really remove that. When you think of X Play, you think of Adam Sessler, but Adam himself trying his best to be part of the new X Play. So that one, I said for now, they are doing good. There are hiccups and of course the controversy. Moving to Attack of the Show, I think in that one, my personal opinion, what their format is, smart move. I like it. So what they did is they separate to three. So first it's called Attack of the Show Vibe, which is again just the crew talking to each other like that, just pop culture stuff, what they talk about. A bit of controversy, yes. Kevin Pereira sort of praising NFT, but from what I understand, he said that he didn't really know about it. So at hindsight, he thought, hey, it's not that bad. But of course, fear of narrative control, where you see people, especially influential people to some extent, talk about NFT in a positive way, that's bad because when people listen and it happens, you know what happened there. So, but that was a controversy for now for him. But either that, there was really nothing. The loop, again, interviewing the person for a segment, smart move because that's what he used to do in his podcast. So it's a podcast in a video format. That's really it. I like it because in the past they only had like what 10 minutes and they have like multiple people. Personally, it just didn't work. So I like that one. And then the Attack of the Show once a week. Again, smart there. Around the net is back. They can show more videos. Again, the best part out of this streaming show is that, yeah, they got 2 hours to some extent, but they have no like limitation of time. So again, it's not XPlay for 30 minutes or Attack of the Show for 1 hour. They have control when, but they do still have to fit a schedule there. So Attack of the Show, they showed some around the net, which a lot of people like that because I made a laugh about that. Then about pop culture stuff, and then sometimes they do some friendly contests, and there you go, and then Q&A in the end there. So, and in the case with Boost, again something new, whatever. Can't really give my opinion about it, but for what it is, I guess it's worth watching if you're into the esports. And then D&D, the same thing. They're trying something new. They're even doing role play, so something new there. I have no idea about the culture of that, but again, the bottom line is all these four show They are having fun. That's the key point there. I mean, like I said, if you're getting a lot of negative comments and negative stuff in your email, it's the internet. You know that's going to happen, and probably push come to shove. My suggestion is hire a social media manager, not one, but a lot of it, to deal with this email because that's how it goes. Just saying there. But so score right now for the return of G4. My early score about this. I'm gonna average them all the show. So XPlay, Attack of the Show, to some extent Boost and D&D Live. I'm gonna give it right now a 6 out of 10 because it is a return. It is something nostalgic. However, everybody knows it's not going to be the same. So if you have those nostalgic goggles, then yeah, that's not the same one. You got new hosts. You're not always going to have the old one. So people say bring back Olivia Munn or Morgan Webb, even to some extent as a guest star. Well, that's not going to happen now after what, like I said, I hate to see what Frost did. Maybe still, but again, who knows? And of course, to some extent, that controversy, I have to a bit, but I don't know about that one. But the bottom line is that, yeah, it is good. It's back. You got, kind of improved to some extent. I know it's not. Downside is, it is not the same as the old one. Hosts, to some extent, they doing the best they can. And some of them, after what happened, again, it's questionable. So, I mean, it is what it is. And the other shows, I think it's okay for what it is. But the problem is, again, sometimes they're like out sync, like they don't do plans, but again, they'll learn in the long run. And again, remember, this is a stream, this is not a television, so they don't edit stuff. When you do stream, you're live, you gotta do it in one take there. Just saying there. So yeah, it's a 6 out of 10. Pros, it's back. Some improvement, changes, which is good. Con is, if you're a person that's nostalgic for the G4, this is not it. Some hosts right now, well, it's questionable after the incident, unfortunately, but like I said, I'm not going to address it. It is not really part of the score why I give it a 6 out of 10, but to some extent, professionalism there. And again, it's a YouTube thing, so if you don't feel like, oh, it's not the same as the old one or kind of weird, then yeah, like I said, should they even bring back G4? My personal opinion, I say why, but they already did, so there you go. So 6 out of 10. So there you have it, the Epilogue of 2021 and MmGS Special 2022, showcasing what I got from Christmas slash thoughts on G4 returning and my early impression of the channel. And like I said, maybe in the long run I'll do another impression. But for now, 6 out of 10. So with that, I'll see you guys later. So you heard the whole director's cut of my thoughts and impression of G4 2021. So including, of course, the controversy at XPlay by Frost. And here's more of the tidbit that I read, heard, and watched from the internet. So the interesting part is that I said was, why did they bring back G4 2021? So apparently, in the beginning, a lot of people thought it was just someone who had a lot of money and said, let's bring back G4. I can do this our way, the internet way, the YouTubers way, the community way. But apparently that wasn't really the case. Apparently somewhere in 2018, 2019, Comcast bought the rights for G4. So NBC sold it to Comcast. And I don't know if NBC and Comcast are related, but again, I don't know. It's not something I'm probably going to think about. But from what I understand is that Comcast bought G4. So by 2020, they said, well, we bought this G4 intellect property. Why not do something about it? And they did. That's the reason why they're trying to bring it back, to justify their investment. So, of course, the reason why the esports, because apparently G4, Twitch TV, Comcast had something to do with esports, so that's the reason. So probably one of the reasons why Frost was hired, because she was at one point an esport commentary, but if you read what happened in the internet, on YouTube, a lot of people already talk about it. I'm not going to touch this, but apparently she's political and controversial. That's what happened. And like I said, I had a feeling that you're going to have trolls. You're going to have some, legit people, but to some extent, like, relax. It's not going to be the same one. But the trolls are going to say that she is not what you're supposed to see. And, yeah, but then she reacted, which is, I knew that apparently she was going to react, and unfortunate. So that's the reason why G4 came back. And in the case of why Frost did this, from what I understand, a lot of people said was apparently it wasn't planned. So the idea was there was a segment, like people already call it, grievance in video game. They were planning to talk about how Red Dead Online is not being supported too much by Take-Two. And a lot of people who play that game want more support. She said, no, it's something more important. It was basically off script. And she really wanted to get something off her chest about the problem. And yeah, I know when I said that people are going to have some dirty mind, but can't help it. It's the internet. And she was going to complain about it. So, again, no surprise there. And from what I understand, there's a lot of rumors talking about why did they allow it. One is they didn't know. Apparently, they didn't know that it happened. Second is some of the people who know Frost has a history of her basically speaking her mind, not putting up crap to a point that she has to address stuff. Because, again, a lot of other YouTubers kind of shows her past history. And apparently Frost has a history of not dealing injustice right. She felt like, I got to do something about it. So, again, whatever, that's her. Kind of like when I talk about Colin with Mass Effect 3 controversy, the way he talked about it was that everyone who hated the ending or controversial, giving some of them with constructive opinion, they said they're all idiots, you shouldn't even think about it. And he actually, to some extent, doubled down, and at the same time also backtracking by saying, I'm really addressing the idiot. Like, well, the way you talk wasn't. So it was the same goes with Frost. Unfortunately, when someone did try to talk to her professionally, constructively, legitly, mature, she basically just said, no, I'm really addressing the idiot, which, yeah, but again, the way you talk, it's kind of like it wasn't. And remember, idiots are not a lot. So, but if you reacted to that, then, you got a personality problem, but I'm not going to touch that. So do what you need to do that makes you feel better. So whatever. And then she even went so far, apparently in a conversation with this person, well, if you have no problem with me, then why are you talking to me? It's because you were talking crap to the majority of your fans. That's the problem. It's not just a troll. The way you talk was, and again, and a lot of people in G4 apparently that defended her said, because she's been allowed to get a crap with this, and again, fine. You don't, stand up for yourself, defend yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is you're mixing the good with the bad, which is, again, the problem there. So that's some of the tidbit there. So in recap, G4 was bought by Comcast, wanted to bring it back because they invest so much. They hired some esports commentary because apparently, like I said, G4, Twitch, and Comcast were some sort of in the esports business. Who knows? The deal with Frost, she has a history of basically getting aggro because she is not a fan of injustice situation to a point that she has to address that. Again, whatever. Like, I had a feeling. So, I mean, I'm not going to be the one that going to say, like, well, I'm going to unsubscribe because one person sucked. A lot of people do it, but for me, I'm just waiting to see what happens because now, because of the result, there's now new rumors coming in. One is upper management from Comcast are evaluating what's happening, what they're going to do. Because right now, they're not really doing much. And I think at this point on, another rumor is that they probably told Adam and Frost, okay, you said what you said, you got it off your chest. Now, keep quiet and move on, and that's it. And like I said also on the video, Adam was always been political ever since the extended play days when I saw him on Facebook. He is known to be political. He was just more nicer in the back. And a lot of people said, and people who knew him basically said they were probably guessing something happened, social media, people just talking crap about him, which is unfortunately also. So it's so sad to some extent, but it is what it is. That's the internet. And he probably just get more aggro than before. Again, who knows? So there you go. So yeah, those are some tidbits of what happened. Thoughts about that. It was interesting that, oh wow, I didn't know there was Comcast. And in the case with Frost, she has a history of, again, fighting back, even so to a point that you could just ignore it. Because I know people who has that sort of mentality. It is what it is. Probably at one point they were talking crap about them to a point they said, I cannot stand any longer, so I'm going to fight back. Again, it is what it is there. Adam's always been political. He just lately, I guess, he's just getting too old. Social media, so he's just getting more aggro. It is what it is. So, again, results. They're looking into what's happening. They're evaluating. They probably told Adam and Frost to just now chill out. And if you notice, they even have one of the week, they didn't even have XPlay. So maybe it's going to be on a different day, but who knows? They're readjusting. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And to some extent, with push come to shove, I wouldn't be surprised if Frost got let go when push come to shove. The problem with that is, even if you do that, is that there's going to be some ramification. Now you're going to have some people who support it. Oh, this is what happened. Because what? She defended herself. Oh, she's fired. It's unfortunate, but again, that's how it goes. So that's a tidbit about G4 2021. I guess there was more than meets the eye. It is unfortunate already they have to go to this approach, but things always forget and move on. But evaluation is the key there. So those are my thoughts, and with that, I'll see you guys later.